My partner shared a post saying she's accepting applications, available for the summer, even though we were still a couple. I replied, request rejected. After that, I updated my profile to single and mentioned her mother in the tag. The post disappeared in just a few moments. The message that shattered my world showed up on a Wednesday evening. I was in a hotel suite in Chicago, finishing a 3-day seminar for my tech firm. It was the final presentation, a dreadfully dull lecture on data protection, and I was like everyone else in the audience, aimlessly browsing social feeds. That's when I spotted it. It was an image of my partner, Maya, at a rooftop lounge back in our city. She had on a fresh outfit I'd never seen, clutching a drink, and giggling toward the lens with a bunch of her pals. We'd been a pair for 3 years, sharing a home I owned for the past 2. I cared for her, or at least the version of her I believed in. The image was gorgeous. The words beneath it, though, were a devastating blow straight to my existence. They said, "The evenings are stretching out and my criteria list is too. Accepting requests, available for the summer, #HotGirlSummer." I scanned it once, then again. I enlarged the photo, searching for any hint, any indication it was a prank. Some private nod I missed. But nothing stood out. It was simply a brazen open statement that the woman in my serious, enduring partnership was broadcasting her openness to everyone, while I was hundreds of miles away on a business journey. Something odd occurred. I didn't experience a surge of fury or a flood of deep sorrow. I sensed a deep, nearly clinical detachment take hold of me. It was the identical sensation I have at the office when a system fails and the team is freaking out. The disorder recedes and I focus solely on the issue, the programming, and the exact, rational actions to resolve it. Maya's message wasn't a plea for attention or a gag. It was a flaw in my existence's framework. And my role was to seal it. For good. I didn't ring her. I didn't message her. I simply proceeded. My hands operated with a serene, intentional focus. I navigated to her message, already gathering approvals and flirty remarks from strangers I'd never encountered. I entered my response, brief and sharply effective. Request rejected. I submitted it. Then I accessed my own feed. My partnership indicator had read, in a partnership with Maya Peterson for 3 years. I selected modify, drop down, chose available. I confirmed the update. But that wasn't all. I understood that merely ending things wasn't sufficient. Maya's whole world was crafted for viewers. Her main worry wasn't parting with me. It was forfeiting command of the tale. She would depict me as the possessive, domineering partner who couldn't handle a jest. I had to proactively break down her version before she could craft it. I located a snapshot on my device from the opening day of my seminar. One of me and my coworkers at a fancy meal. I appeared content, polished, utterly oblivious that my partnership was being openly terminated 1,000 miles distant. I shared it, and then I added my own words. Enjoying an amazing time in Chicago. Major developments ahead. Also, thrilled to begin a fresh phase in my private world. Occasionally you don't know you're available until online platforms inform you. Eager for my own hot guy summer of liberty. And then the ultimate targeted hit. I mentioned her mother. Maya's mom, Carol, is a kind, very conventional lady who thinks image is paramount. She's the leader of her place of worship's community group. Her biggest delights are her award-taking flowers and her conviction that her child was in a secure, honorable partnership with a solid guy. Mentioning her was like firing an accurate projectile into the core of Maya's backup network. I set my device on the hotel bedside table. The presenter at the seminar was still rambling about security barriers. I sensed nothing, just a silent, concentrated serenity. Took under 5 minutes. My device began to vibrate. A message from Maya. Remove that immediately. Then another. What's your problem? Why mention my mother? Then a voice call. I muted it. Then another message. It was a prank for interaction, you lunatic. You're embarrassing me. I grabbed my device and returned to her page. The message was erased. Gone. As though it never happened. But the harm was inflicted. The capture was already stored on my device. Her calls persisted. One by one. Panicked and enraged. I allowed them all to voicemail. I didn't require her tone. Her deeds had been clear enough. She had desired to be available for the summer. I had just handled her request and granted it. Right away. She simply wouldn't appreciate the fine print. Update 1. It's been 7 days since what my buddies now dubbed the request. The aftermath has been precisely as turbulent and gratifying as I'd expected. Thanks everyone for the encouragement and the amusing remarks. I returned from Chicago the following day. I didn't message or ring Maya. I just powered off my device. I figured she'd be at the residence, ready for a confrontation. I needed to dictate the setting. So prior to heading home, I did 2 errands. First, I visited a lock expert and got a complete new set of advanced security keys in my vehicle's trunk. Second, I stopped at my attorney's workplace. I wanted to ensure each following step was legally unbreakable. Since my name alone is on the title and the loan, he verified that as an unmarried companion, she was a renter at will. My open online message and her later claim that she was kidding about being available was plenty to end that rental. I eventually arrived at the residence around 6 p.m. Maya's vehicle was in the drive. As I approached the entrance, she flung it wide. Her expression was smeared with runny cosmetics and sheer fury. "Where were you?" she shouted. "I've been ringing you for a full day. You've shamed me. My mother is losing it." I passed her into the residence, my bag wheeling after me. Did she dislike my share? I inquired evenly. "You're a cruel, spiteful kid," she bellowed, chasing me. It was a gag. All the ladies were posting it. It was about woman's strength. "You warped it and made me appear stupid." I halted in the family room and faced her. "No, Maya," I stated, my tone quiet and firm. "You made yourself appear stupid. You openly dishonored me and our partnership for some approvals. You declared to everyone that you were open. The sole thing I did was trust you." "I'm not open," she sobbed, the waterworks beginning anew. "I care for you. It was just a dumb line." "You're discarding 3 years over a line?" "I'm not discarding it." "You did," I replied. "You just lacked the courage to say it directly. So you said it where it counts most to you. On the web. Well, congrats. Your message spread in a way. You're available now. Your belongings are in the spare room. I need you gone by weekend's end." The astonishment on her face was intense. She really believed this was a spat we'd argue. And then I'd say sorry for overdoing it and normalcy would return. She had no grasp of lasting outcomes. "You can't evict me," she faltered. "I reside here. I have entitlements." "No, you don't," I said. "You have items and you have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to relocate them. After that, I'm swapping the keys." The dispute worsened from there. She yelled. She wept. She negotiated. She vowed she'd never repeat it. But throughout, she never offered a true, sincere regret. She regretted being exposed. She regretted my shaming of her. But she wasn't regretful for the act itself. The highlight was the continuing mess with her mother. Carol had evidently phoned Maya, gave her a severe talking to, and then insisted on viewing the initial message. Somebody had forwarded it to her. The open disrespect, and the fact that I, the reliable, honorable partner, had exposed it, had totally destroyed Carol's view of her ideal child. For the first time, it appeared, Maya couldn't twist the tale to victimize herself. She used the next 2 days boxing up, switching between moody quiet and explosions of angry shouting. I just remained in my workspace with the door shut, handling tasks. Every time she attempted another dispute, I repeated the identical line, "You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. On Sunday midday, a moving truck arrived, operated by her clearly displeased dad. They packed her items in almost total quiet. As she prepared to depart, she tried one final, frantic attempt. "So that's all," she said, her tone laced with phony feeling. "You're just discarding me? What about our Greece getaway this summer?" "Ah yes, the getaway. A 3-week island exploring trip we'd planned for a year. A trip I'd fully funded. Non-cancelable." "No issue," I said. "I've got it covered." She interpreted that as a hopeful signal. A tiny, self-satisfied grin appeared on her mouth. She figured I'd scrap it, or perhaps plead for her to join anyway. She has no clue. My closest pal, a guy who's warned me for a year that Maya was trouble, has cleared his calendar. His request for a summer companion was granted. Update 2: It has been 4 weeks since Operation Hot Girl's summer collapse. The quiet in my residence has been wonderful. Thanks once more for the massive backing. It appears many of you have encountered a Maya in your lives. After she vacated, the truth of her new, available existence seemed to strike her severely. She relocated to her folks' place, into her old room. Her efforts to recapture the tale online were a total flop. She attempted to share a vague, weepy clip about harmful partnerships and guys who can't deal with a powerful, self-reliant lady. The responses were harsh. Many people, including shared acquaintances, pointed to her first message. "Didn't this begin because you declared availability while having a partner? Powerful and self-reliant is fine. Disrespectful is different. Heck, request rejected began spreading under her clip. She removed the clip in a few hours. Then arrived the legal warnings. I got a note from an attorney she somehow hired. It was a gem of unrealistic demand. It alleged I had done open slander by replying to her message and mentioning her mother. It required an open regret and a money payout of $50,000 for mental pain and harm to her image. I sent the note to my attorney. He actually chuckled during the call. We responded with a basic comeback. It attached a duplicate of the residence title, a capture of her original available for the summer message, and a courteous explanation that facts are a complete shield against slander. We also added an invoice for the lock swap and professional rug cleaning to eliminate the aroma of her arrogance. We didn't hear from that attorney again. The true enjoyment, however, has been the Greece journey. As noted, I asked my best pal Dave. We departed 2 weeks back. For 3 weeks, we've been experiencing the existence Maya had envisioned for herself, but minus the endless selfie-taking and griping about the illumination. We visited Santorini, Mykonos, Crete. We trekked, we sailed, we savored amazing meals. It has been, unquestionably, the greatest holiday of my life. And I've been recording it. Not overly. Just one solid, thoughtfully framed image every couple of days on my feed. An image of me and Dave on a vessel with the breathtaking blue Aegean behind us. An image of us at a eatery, chuckling over a wine bottle. An image of the vista from our Santorini hotel, the one she'd spent months selecting. My words were straightforward and upbeat, creating lasting recollections. Greece is a small paradise, so thankful for great pals and fresh journeys. I never named her. I never alluded to the split. But I didn't need to. Every one of our shared friends, and likely Maya too, viewed those shares. They saw me in the precise spots she'd dreamed about, enjoying immensely with another person. I wasn't merely enduring the split. I was flourishing despite it. I had claimed the future she discarded and was relishing it without her. The updates from home have trickled in via friends. Maya is reportedly wretched. She views my shares. Her folks are said to be fed up with her sulking around the place. Her hot girl summer has involved bickering with her mom and attempting to repair her damaged online persona. She tried to set up a trip with pals to a budget, package deal spot in Mexico, but it collapsed because nobody wanted to cover her share. She believed her online message was a bold play, a method to keep everything. She wanted the safety of our partnership while openly seeking upgrades. She basically misjudged our bond's essence. It wasn't a sponsorship deal. It was founded on honor. And the instant she torched that honor for some approvals, the whole thing crumbled. Final update. I'm penning this closing part from my rear deck, observing the dusk. It's been half a year since I initially viewed that notorious online message. My existence is calm, it's tranquil, and it's completely mine. The Greece journey was a pivotal moment. It cleared the remaining traces of resentment and filled them with a deep feeling of liberation. The tale of Maya's collapse has turned into a community myth in our group. Her bid to be a content creator exploded in the most epic manner. Her image, constructed on phony genuineness, was revealed as simply phony. The available for the summer message wasn't merely a disloyalty, it was a disastrous choice. She forfeited all trustworthiness. Last I learned, she's employed as a front desk worker at a tooth clinic, a position her dad arranged. Her online presence is now mainly images of her parents' pet. Her mother, Carol, really mailed me a brief pen note a few months back. It was a regret. She regretted her child's actions and for not noticing earlier. She said she wished I was content. It was a graceful gesture, and I valued it. I never responded, but I was pleased she got it. The most rewarding aspect of this whole saga wasn't noisy or theatrical. It was the calm, systematic breakdown of her complete outlook. Maya thought her digital self was worth more than our actual partnership. She thought she could manipulate the tale, that she could create a public show of our bond without repercussions. My retaliation was merely to accept her statement and impose tangible outcomes on her virtual deeds. I replied, request rejected, not only to her message, but to her whole approach to existence. Her request to mistreat me? Rejected. Her request to exploit my existence and assets to grow her phony image? Rejected. Her request to keep a steady, affectionate companion while openly trying out substitutes? Rejected. 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 I encountered her once about 4 weeks ago. I was at a supermarket on a Saturday dawn. She was in the payment queue before me, purchasing a pitiful frozen meal and a flask of inexpensive vino. She appeared ordinary, The content creator shine had vanished. She was just an average individual appearing weary and discontent. She noticed me, and for a moment, a spark of the former haughty rage showed in her gaze. But it faded quickly, swapped for an expression of utter, crushed shame. She simply looked away and avoided eye contact again. I didn't utter anything. I just settled for my items and exited. There was nothing more to express. I had already expressed all that mattered with a few taps on a screen. She desired to be available for the summer. I just ensured she received precisely what she asked for. And judging by appearances, her summer never concluded. And mine is only beginning.